Okay, a very quick video. Just take a couple minutes of my day to update you on some stuff that I'm doing currently before the end of the year. It's Saturday, December 21st, almost 12 noon on the East Coast. Let me just get the disclaimer out of the way. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Just use this as your, your own research type thing. So let me just get that disclaimer out of the way. So you have until the end of the year, December 31st, to sign a safe harbor plan for. I think this is a good idea for all crypto investors, whether even if you haven't sold anything yet. So, Google research or YouTube research safe harbor plan for crypto on YouTube or Google. This particular video by the Clinton Donnelly show, it's an hour long. It's probably the best out there I've seen. They answer a lot of questions. It's worth listening to all of it. And he also has a link to download a PDF, which you sign, and they email you a copy of the signed part, and then a certification that you did this safe harbor plan by the end of the year. So you have a date and time stamp on that. If you do this after January 1st, it's no good. So you have to get it done this year. No extensions. So yeah, go through that. I'm not going to go through detail. I'll go over it a little bit, but basically, another YouTube person, crypto chick, I think, taxes. This is Laura Walter. You could check out her YouTube channel. She also has a link to, downloading the PDF, signing it. You have to choose an allocation. For me, I like using the specific unit allocation method. It's a normal work. You have to, every time I bought Bitcoin, let's say, and put it in my wallet, I sign it at a cost basis. The other method is global allocation method. And you have to sign it like first in, first out, or last in, last out, or something like that. So, look into this yourself. But I did notice that when you download these PDFs, the default is a global allocation method. So I'm going to have to somehow get like Adobe Acrobatic Editor or Pro and see if I can edit that, because I specifically want specific unit allocation method. But the main thing is you need to get something signed and date and time stamped and have for your records. It doesn't go to the IRS. It's just for your own records. And you have to show that you did it by the end of this year. So if you get audited later on, you have some protection. If you don't do this, there's going to be a whole lot of headaches. Like if you get audited, they may ask you to redo all your back taxes if you didn't have a safe harbor plan. But basically, what this is in a nutshell is you're basically telling the IRS that, hey, I've got my records in order. These are my records. This is a snapshot of my inventory, and the inventory's got to show the date and time stamp, which is fine if you want to use your Windows date and time in the corner, but you just have to take a picture of it. Of all your inventory, you have to show like the sum of all your Bitcoin or altcoins or whatever, and then have that snapshot available. And then you're going to have records showing your cost basis for everything. So going forward, when you sell your crypto, because the exchange won't know your cost basis. So let's say you sell one Bitcoin for $100,000. Your exchange will probably have a cost basis of zero, and you're not going to want to pay the tax on that full $100,000. So you refer to your own records that have your cost basis, and you're going to have to fill that in when you do your taxes. I think it's going to be a 1099 DA for digital assets starting next year, I think. So you get all your records. You've got just until the end of the year to do this. So, if you've been in crypto for a couple of years like me, it's going to be time consuming if you haven't kept good records up to date. And if you're a DJ and you've got a lot of altcoins, it's just going to be a probably nightmare. I know it's going to be a nightmare because, let's say, you're moving things around from exchanges and whatever, but if you're a hodler, it's not too bad. Best case scenario is you were probably using like one Bitcoin address, sending everything to one Bitcoin, which is I kind of recommended to my newbie friends. For people that have been in this for years, they probably have been sending their Bitcoin to, let's say, a separate address every time they bought Bitcoin. It increases privacy, right? So I think what As far as your records are concerned, the IRS considers like a wallet, like a Trezor device or a Ledger device, like one wallet. One wallet could have many addresses. So, according to, I think it was these guys, I don't think it's worth the risk trying to consolidate hundreds of addresses into one address for fear of possibly risking losing your assets. And let's say you make a mistake. I was going to kind of consolidate everything, but now I think as long as you could show that, let's say, your one wallet address has 200 sub addresses, as long as it's under one wallet, I'm okay with that. I'll open up, like, let's say, the Treasure app, and it adds up all the Bitcoin from all my sub, I could say 200 addresses. It'll add up all my Bitcoin. I'll take a snapshot of that, and then in my records, I will show my cost basis for each address. So when it's time for me to sell, I'll go to my records and like allocate. I'll say I'm going to sell between, April to May of 2023. Those Bitcoins, let's say that the sum of that adds up to like 1.5 Bitcoin. If that's what it is, I will sell 1.5 Bitcoin and take a record of it. And whatever the profit is of that will be what I pay taxes on. So, each individual is responsible for calculating their own cost basis, whether it's first in, first out, or specific lot. So it is crucial you get something signed and date and timestamp. I prefer this guy right here. I got it emailed back to me within a minute. It's all automated, and then there's a certificate that you could print along with it. So it looks more professional, in my opinion. If you get audited, it has a barcode and everything that shows that you did it before the end of the year. You could do this yourself, fill it out, scan it, and then email it back to yourself as long as you have that email, or you can save that file onto like a flash drive as long as it's date and time stamped, before the end of the year. You could do that as well. And you're going to have to take a snapshot of your inventory, like I said. I don't think, I suppose you could email that to yourself. I know some people don't want that information out there. So, you save it to a flash drive with the date and time stamp on it. And the file will be, created by, as long as the date is before the end of the year. So, I would probably put that in a flash drive and stick it with my tax records, just in case something happens to my computer. If you do email it, just save the email to yourself. But I still think it's a good idea to have all those files, PDFs, your inventory snapshots, everything on a separate flash drive, just in case something happens with your computer or email server goes down or something like that. So this is critical information that's got to be done by the end of the year, and I think everybody that's in crypto, even if you just started this year, needs to take this seriously. And again, it's going to protect yourself from future audits. So, and you want more information, I would start with this YouTube, the Clinton Donnelly Show, this specific, spend an hour watching it. Okay, so real quick, let me just go over Bitcoin real quick. The last time I did a YouTube was about a month ago, and the Bitcoin price was 92,000, and now we're at 97,000, up $5,000 from that. And it's kind of funny because people might be freaking out that we were at I think 108 not too long ago, and now we went down to a flash crash of, was it 92,300 after Jerome Powell said he wasn't going to raise rates as much next year. Decrease rates. He was going to decrease rates, I think, 4 times next year, and now it's possibly just only 2. Either way, all markets went down. So what I'm doing, it's at the end of the year. I've been dollar cost averaging throughout the whole year, so I don't have like a lot of cash to buy right now. And I've been in the space since 2017. So, with all my bills paid for by the end of the year, I will have a certain amount of money in my bank account, which is kind of what my minimum it would be. So I don't have a lot of extra money. So I'm going to chill out and wait on certain metrics. So like since the bull run, we're looking at here at my charts around October, early October, we kind of came down to this RSI. I'm on the weekly chart, by the way, We're around 44, this green area here, this green rectangular part. And when we came down to these lower levels, was a good time to buy in the bull market for this year or last year, the last 2 years. So we're in this uptrend here. Um, I don't know if we're going to get these lower dips though, but for me, I'm patient. I've been in this space for a while now. I have the luxury to wait, and if it continues to go up, well, then I don't really have a lot of money to buy right now anyway. So, if the RSI on the weekly comes down to sub 50 or something like that, I'll get an alert sent to my phone, and I'll take a look at the price, and I probably will start DCAing again. So, looking at the trend lines here, on the weekly, let's see now, it's bouncing off this EMA here. It went dip down below it a little bit. When it's in it here, if it happens again, we can go down this lower channel here, which would be as like 66,000. But by the time we get there, it could be 70,000. Could be the new floor, which I think perhaps the next bear market. I don't think we're going to go back below 70,000 again. That would be a huge drop from 97,000 now, but from 108. If we drop down here somewhere, that's a 35% drop. I think 30% drops isn't unreasonable. And even if we go to the top of the support here, that's like a 26%. So it's pretty close to 30. I would probably buy if we get touching this exponential ribbon. The last two times one time we dipped below it, and in here we actually dipped below it too, just a wick down. But once we get around here, the top of it would be around 80,000. Yeah. So, and I got an alert here too, it looks like, to let me know. Yeah. So right now, I don't know if we're going to go 80,000. The ETFs are gobbling them up like $400 to $750 million a day sometimes. And MicroStrategy is selling their stock and doing convertible notes to buy up more Bitcoin a lot, like every week, like thousands. So, I'm not going to, I'm just going to stick with my plan. If I was kind of new to the space and this is my first year buying crypto, I would continue DCAing. We're down to 97 when we were at 108. I would buy, I would buy some every week or with every paycheck, and I would just split that up. So I'm not, buying like once a week or once every 2 weeks. I do like a small buy like every 3 or 4 days because, I think we still have room to go. We're not even out of this green area yet. We're trying to break out. But last time we came up to it, we dropped, where are we? We dropped about 30%. 29%. I don't know if we're going to do that. We're so many days after the halving, we tend to break out of this green zone normally. So, I had told myself I should probably start taking profit around 90,000. I didn't. And then I would probably take profit around 107, or I didn't. So I don't want to be out of the market too much when I know the ETFs and MicroStrategy and now other companies are copying MicroStrategy, and we've got miners that aren't selling and they're buying Bitcoin. So I think I'm going to be patient, watch the Pi cycle chart indicator, top indicator, like I said in the last video. Last month, that's a big key thing, and with RSI indicators, and there's will be other things, but the Pi cycle chart for me, when those two moving averages crisscross, has always been 100% signal that the top was in. We'll just have to wait and see. So I think that's it for me today. I didn't want to talk too much. The main thing was going over the safe harbor view, and you could ask Rogue on X, what all that about is, but you have to choose a specific allocation method and read what you're signing on these PDFs, because the default seems to be always global allocation method. And if you choose that, you have to choose first in, first out, or whatever. So again, these guys go over it pretty good. And so does Laura Walter at her YouTube channel. So don't freak out if the price is at 97,000. Come up with a plan and stick to it. So I'm just giving you an update on my plan, and I'm gonna stick to it. If anything changes, I'll do another YouTube update. Okay. Anyway, everybody have a great weekend, and if I don't talk to you before the holidays, have a happy holiday and happy New Year. Bye bye.